Alright, so Mission Impossible 2 is directed by John Woo this time, because Tom Cruise had the idea of having a different director for each movie of the franchise so that they could add their own little spin to it, and that could be a good thing, but in this movie they're experimenting, and they didn't quite know what worked with the franchise yet, and that's kind of why this is the weakest one yet, and trust me, John Woo's an okay director, but I mean, just doves. There's doves everywhere. Okay. Doves is a signature thing for John Woo if you didn't already know that. I'm just gonna, yeah. So if there's doves, a lot of doves in your movie, and it's an action movie, it's probably a John Woo movie. Well yeah, so Mission Impossible 2 is Ethan Hunt once again, and there's this virus, and I forgot what it's called because I'm really bad at remembering stuff like this, and basically it kills people, obviously, and him and his team had to go destroy destroy this virus before it gets out. You know, it's a pretty generic plot. And our villain has a connection with one of his team members that he was supposed to recruit, but he also has a forced romance with her. Yes, it's forced, and that romance, yeah, he uses her to go undercover I forgot the villain's name. Dougray Scott. Dougray Scott. That's his name. That's not his name in the movie, but that's the actor's name. And yeah, she's supposed to kind of like be undercover and say she needs him for stuff, so she could figure things out and you know how all this works and you know destroy the virus. Basically, is the plot of the movie, and it's a very complicated movie to describe. But if you were mad that Mission Impossible didn't have a lot, or really any gun firing at all, or, well, Ethan Hunt didn't fire a gun, Mission Impossible 2 makes up for that entirely in its last 20 minutes. Because the first hour of this movie just drags for a large portion of it, and I didn't like that. But because this time around, Tom Cruise, you know how Ethan Hunt was a very vulnerable hero in the first movie, and he hadn't quite proved himself yet, but now he has proved himself, and now he's James Bond, basically, and I didn't like that, because they're making him the playboy character that he wasn't supposed to be originally, and you know he's like winking at girls, and he's sleeping with a bunch of women. Like, that's not how he works. That's James Bond. That works for James Bond only, not Ethan Hunt. This is an entirely different franchise, entirely. And yeah, that was one of my big complaints with this movie. I guess I'm getting the complaints out of the way first. But yeah, that and Dougray Scott, his villain, is just so weak. It's terribly paced in its first hour, and the romance is so forced and really awkward, and I really didn't like that. And the character Anaya, while I liked her character, there wasn't much to her to me. I don't know. She's played well, but it just something about her character just didn't really ring with me. But for things I did like with this movie, though, because those are my main problems with the movie. The things I did like, the action is fantastic. What it is there, well, it's shot great. The cinematography is fantastic. It's over the top as heck, and there's a lot of slow-mo, but it's good when it's there. And the stunt with the freaking knife I was talking about in my Mission Impossible review, that he did a crazy stunt. The stunt with the knife. Okay, here's a picture of that stunt. That's real. That is a real knife up against Tom Cruise's eye, because they rigged it with a cable to stop right before his eye, or it hit his eye. If that would have slipped 1 second, Tom Cruise wouldn't have had an eye anymore. He probably would have been dead, and Dougray Scott would have been a murderer. So, yeah, a pretty intense stunt work there. Holy crap. Which, hats off to him, because he does some insane stunts. Not even just that. There is a scene where Dougray Scott and Tom Cruise just collide bodies in midair, and their bikes explode, and it's all insane, and it's really freaking stupid, but it's amazing at the same time. And they're, as I said, this movie's 15 years old, so I'm gonna say this right now. There are spoilers right now, because I'm about to spoil something. So if you haven't seen it and you want to, weakest one in the franchise, wouldn't say you need to see this one. Wait, if you want to see it, go watch it, come back. But if you are watching this video, but yeah, the scene where Naya injects herself with the virus, I liked that. That was really done well. I thought that was cool, but couldn't have Ethan Hunt just blown up everything and all gotten away before she injected herself? Like, think about it. And then when they're actually destroying the crap, because it's like, come on. Like, they're taking forever to destroy these freaking things. It's like, speed it up, man. And that probably lends to the bad pacing in this movie. But there are great scenes in this movie. Like, I just mentioned a couple there. And there is a great scene where Ethan Hunt basically captures I guess the villain's right-hand man, and he makes him look like himself, like he puts the mask on, and the iconic mask, and yeah, he's forced to kill his own what is that, forced to kill him? He kills his own right-hand man, and it ends up like Ethan Hunt is wearing the mask again to look like his right-hand man. He gets away. As I said, all this crap, never mind, could have happened a lot faster, but that was a great scene. So, yeah, overall, Mission Impossible 2, there's some great action in the movie, but there's too much in the last, like, 20 minutes. And dubs. Just dubs. And the most prevalent character here is John Woo, so that didn't really work for me. I didn't like what they did with Ethan Hunt's character. He's not a vulnerable hero anymore. But in MI3 and 4, he is, so we'll pick back up on that later. So I'll give Mission Impossible 2 a C+. It's a pretty mixed bag for me. I just couldn't really get into a lot of what they were doing here. But I did enjoy a lot of the movie. So I guess when the romance wasn't forced as much, and there wasn't as bad of a pacing issue there, it would have been perfect. But well, perfect for what it was. So yeah, that's my review of Mission Impossible 2. Tomorrow, I'm actually filming this on Tuesday, but tomorrow, since I'm uploading this on Wednesday, tomorrow will be Thursday, which means Mission Impossible 3, and Friday I will do Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and Saturday, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So that is my review of Mission Impossible 2. So, peace.